make sure they never feel their own emotions. It's the emotion that you're feeling.
You are so angry today, aren't you? You feel upset?
I don't know what. Did I yell today?
Yeah, you totally just sounded really upset right there.
Confident kids are the last thing we want.
Exactly.
Our kids are too confident. We want to help you raise insecure kids. So if you can get ahead of the curve and stop your kids from becoming too confident, you'll be the one in control.
Yeah, insecure kids are easier to control, and that just makes life better.
Yeah. And we want to make sure your kids live with you as long as possible. We want our kids with us forever. The last thing we want them to do is leave us.
Independent, make decisions, trust their own judgment.
Good ideas.
But I know them better than they know themselves. So
Exactly.
obviously, I know what they want and need and should do, and they can't trust their own opinions.
How much work have we put in raising them? They owe it to us.
They do. To stay here forever?
So-
Do we want them to stay here forever?
Well, eventually they need to go make some money.
Okay.
But it helps getting a job if you're really insecure, because then they'll go be a good studious
People pleaser?
worker, right? They're gonna
That is
please
actually, yeah, you
people.
definitely want that. Yeah.
They're gonna please people. They're gonna work
They're
too
gonna try
hard.
really hard.
They're gonna quiet quit. They'll be
quit.
just like millennials.
We can't make fun of millennials. They might be insecure. Are we millennials? We're not millennials.
We're millennials. I know you don't want to identify.
I don't want to identify as millennials.
I don't
prefer to
identify
make.
as a millennial.
I want to make fun of millennials. I don't want to be one.
Well, the thing about it is,
It's okay to make fun of
you
yourself.
feel insecure being a millennial, so that's perfect.
This is boosting my insecurity already. This is
I
great.
pref-
We're off to a great start.
I feel insecure being a baby boomer.
You shouldn't feel that way.
I definitely don't want to be silent generation because I like to be seen. That's why I'm
you
so
shouldn't.
cocky.
I was trying to use a phrase on you from my Raising Insecure Kids ideas. You shouldn't feel that way.
How should I feel?
However, I tell you should feel. And you wouldn't want to do that either.
How do I feel?
I don't think I necessarily tell you how to feel. I just tell you how you shouldn't feel, which creates confusion because,
I
now you're
really-
wondering, how should I feel? I don't know. Feel however you want to feel, but not like that. You shouldn't be sad. This is not worth crying over. You don't need to cry about this. Why are you crying?
I'm so confused.
I think that is actually probably the number one goal to raise insecure kids, is just to confuse the heck out of everybody. Which
So-
we're good at doing that.
So if you're already confused, you're getting more insecure.
Which is perfect.
Good for you. Now you know what to do to your kids. And now we're going to lean into 12 ways.
I don't
if
know
it's
if we
not-
have 12 ways.
If it's not 12, it's because we want you to be confused. Your insecurity will help raise insecure kids. It's really important for you
I'm
not
insecure.
to be confident.
If we promise 12 and then we don't deliver 12, then people are going to judge me and not like me and stuff. And
Well, it'll work.
it'll work.
On the title that we give this, it's going to say the 12 ways you can raise insecure kids.
And if you miss 2, you should stress out because now you only know 10 of the 12.
Yes.
What were the other 2 that you're missing? Those
What?
might be the key ingredients that you need in your family to increase insecurity.
Then we can talk about a baker's dozen. We'll be like, well, was it a dozen or was it a baker's
I don't know what that
dozen?
is. I don't know what that means. Now I'm confused.
I'm confused too. I still don't know what a baker's dozen is.
Then you shouldn't talk about it.
We're really good at this, aren't we?
Yeah. So some key phrases are: you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't enjoy that. You wouldn't like that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't wear that. Because I know you better than you know yourself. And you should
know me
not
very
trust
well.
your own judgment. A lot of work. Basically, you got to micromanage them.
The thing is I like to judge you.
That is
You're
also
doing that
good.
wrong. It's never good enough.
Well, now my insecurity is increasing.
You're podcasting wrong. Your mic.
I know I'm podcasting wrong. That is my role here, is to make you feel better about yourself. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
Is
what
it
I'm
working?
doing.
Do you feel more confident with me here?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel spectacular.
Then we're doing it wrong because
My
the goal
head
is
is inflated.
insecurity. If you are feeling confident, then we are failing at this podcast.
Now I'm not so sure about this.
Wonderful. This is perfect. This is good. We're off to a great start. I have no idea where we're going with this. Where are we going? This is good. My insecurity is real.
We're going off a
We
cliff.
have gone so far off any sort of script that I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
So my insecurity is at an all-time high.
there's 12 ways to raise insecure
12.
kids.
And we said one.
And we said one, which is to
Tell
them
how they should think, feel, act.
how
Yes.
they should think, feel, act. That's really integral.
So question. When they become a teenager, will they continue to listen to us? Or will they start thinking for themselves? Or will they start like listening to their friends' bad ideas or their friends' good ideas? It's hard to say. That could go.
If you raise them confidently, absolutely they start thinking for themselves, because confident people think for themselves and take responsibility.
So we don't want that to happen. We want them to obey us. But then what if they don't think for themselves and then they follow their friends' bad ideas and do stupid things?
Well, it's not on us. They did stupid things.
And we want them to do stupid things.
Because then we can blame that on them.
Exactly.
So-
This is wonderful. This is good.
So step
Good,
2,
good.
blame.
Blame.
Them for everything negative and take credit for everything positive.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
really
I mean-
key.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So some other phrases that I thought of is like saying things like how embarrassing or you should be ashamed of yourself, which also helps because then when your kids are teenagers doing stupid stuff, they're embarrassed and ashamed and they definitely don't want to tell you about it, so then they'll hide the stuff from you, or if they're having a problem, they won't come to you. Ignorance is bliss, so that's good.
I like being ignorant. You feel embarrassed about this podcast yet?
No,
No?
apparently we're ignorant. I don't... I feel insecure about being ignorant. Am I really ignorant?
I don't know. That's the thing about ignorance, is you don't know.
It is bliss.
You don't know what you don't know, so we say it's bliss until you find out, and then it's not so bliss.
Yeah, I mean, you called me ignorant, so now I'm wondering, what do I not know?
I
Are you
don't
hiding?
know.
Are you getting into trouble and hiding things from me?
We're here to get in trouble.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, I just feel really bad now about
yeah.
calling you ignorant.
Yeah, because guilt is like, I did something wrong, but shame is, I am bad. That's what I did is
You
bad.
should be ashamed of
So
yourself.
definitely want to instill shame in your children. That's point number 2 or 3 or whatever, number
We're
1.
on 3.
We're on
yeah.
3.
You're definitely 3 or 4.
Whatever.
Because we hit blame.
Blame.
I'm going to blame you.
Yeah, see, you got out of order too, so that's increasing my insecurity. I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, I don't have show notes in front of me, so we're totally
So I failed.
blaming you.
Great. I feel even more insecure now. Thank you, thank you. So where are we going without show notes?
Well, I think you feel a little bit.
Are you telling me how I
off.
feel?
Yes. Oh, we already covered that one, didn't we?
I'm confused. I'm so lost. I mean, I feel like I'm not really in my game though. I'm definitely lost and confused.
Well,
Which is fine. I can be lost and confused. I can handle it. I'm not insecure about this. I mean, I'm insecure. I'm really good at being
How
insecure. I
dare
can be
you
like a professional insecure.
comfortable in your insecurity.
Am I supposed to be insecure or am I supposed to be like confident and kind of funny? Because I feel like when I'm funny, I might actually be being confident. Or am I being cocky? I'm probably being cocky. It's probably fake confidence. I'm pretending to be confident.
Your
Yeah.
confidence.
Okay. Right now I'm faking my insecurity. Am I doing a good job?
You're super prideful.
Oh.
See? Yeah, and the whole faking, that's pride.
I'm faking my
Pride
insecurity
cometh
now.
before the fall. This podcast is going off a cliff and we haven't even started it.
It's true. But anyway, how embarrassing.
How embarrassing. So
Yeah.
you have notes in front of you.
I do, and
How
I'm
else can we raise
loosely
insecure
following them, but
kids?
not really. I did say that instilling embarrassment and shame might help your teenagers not do stupid things, because how embarrassing. But if they do, then they'll probably hide it from you and not come talk to you about it. We said that already. We covered that. It's good.
I don't
It's
want to
good.
know about
We don't
all
wanna
the
know.
embarrassing things.
Which something I think that goes along with that is also listening to your kids. Like, when they're little, they've got really important things to tell you in their little toddler world that is slightly incoherent. And if you listen to them as they're toddlers and stuff, you like build relationship and trust, and you become someone that they can talk to because you're listening. Are you listening?
Were you talking about something?
This was important, babe.
I thought I was supposed to not listen.
No. Well, you are supposed to not listen. That is my point. Because if you do listen when they're little and they talk about the important things that aren't super important, then they might continue to come to you with the more important things as they become teenagers.
I don't want
And
them
when they're
doing that.
teenagers, we definitely don't want them coming to us with
Keep
anything.
your boyfriends to yourself. I don't want to know.
What boyfriend?
Exactly. I don't want to know. There are no boyfriends.
There are no boyfriends.
Or
Okay.
girlfriends.
Are we clear on this?
No, I'm uncertain.
I'm insecure now about that. Oh, goodness.
Considering our kids aren't old enough for that.
But they will be. And will they come talk to us about it?
I don't know.
No, because we need to ignore them as much as possible and definitely like not prioritize them and things like that. Like basically, they need to know that everything else is more important than them. Our work is more important. The chickens are more important. I mean, my kids might actually think the chickens are more important because they asked for a snack, and I'm like, oh, I need to feed the chickens, and they're like, I wanted a snack. Sorry, just reminded me to feed the chickens. They can't ask me directly.
That is a very important thing to keep in mind, is they can never be the center of the world. You're the center of the world because you're the one who's insecure.
Unless you're criticizing them.
Unless if it's yeah.
You should be the center of the world in a situation like where you feel like someone over there is laughing. They're probably laughing at you. They are laughing at you. You are some sort of celebrity that gets made fun of constantly.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're not like a successful celebrity that people look to because you do something good.
Well, but that all has to reflect on the negative energy, right? The laughing. That's not because of you. That's because of your kid.
Well, yeah, obviously. Nothing
is
ever my fault.
Needs. It's never your fault.
And not even just laughing.
Kids.
It's just like, oh, the cashier was really rude today. It's probably because my kid has special needs. It's not because the cashier's like a rude person or because I seem to be really mean.
Yeah,
currently.
I mean, the server's not acting that way because they had a bad day or the boss just yelled at them.
Yeah, it's definitely because of my child.
Children, and you need to be sure to tell them to behave.
So be sure to be really insecure about taking your kids out to restaurants, which is fair because kids, I mean, it's kind of stressful taking your kids to restaurants sometimes. So be extra insecure and extra judgmental to your children, and then definitely make sure that any negative interaction that they know that it is their fault that happened.
Absolutely.
That person's rude, it's because of you.
Embarrassing.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh. I never should have taken them out. I'm absolutely ashamed.
Yeah,
we're never going out to dinner again.
I'm going out to dinner.
What?
I want to go out to dinner. I don't want to make dinner every night. You're on your own. You and the kids can make dinner. I'm going out by myself, apparently. I just would feel lonely, and that increases my insecurity. So hey, bullying. Let's just totally change the subject here. Get the topic off me, on you. You said that everyone gets bullied at some point in life.
Well, isn't that true? Because I always got bullied.
It could be true. It could not be true. It's definitely important to make sure that everyone gets bullied. I mean, if they're not getting bullied out there, you can bully them at home. Or actually, do we want people to get bullied or want them not to get bullied? Because maybe we should protect our kids from bullying by teasing them at home. Like, you wouldn't go out dressed like that.
So exactly.
How embarrassing.
You just gotta make sure they realize that the neighbor...
What will the neighbors think?
Think something negative because of the way they're going out.
Everybody is judging you all the time.
Everyone is judging you. So if they know that you're protecting them by saying really off the cuff.
So I might sound like I'm bullying my children, but I'm protecting them from actual bullies out of love and compassion. Not compassion. We don't do compassion, but you wouldn't do your hair like that. But actually, your hair looks pretty good today. I didn't say that. It looks terrible.
No,
sorry.
No, I'm so confused.
I'm trying to increase your insecurity. Your hair
looks
looks
terrible. Do I look good like this?
No.
That was too honest. You're supposed to lie, Becky.
I'm confused. Does increasing your insecurity mean being honest or lying? I guess it depends on the situation.
You gotta really adapt.
You gotta really adapt. You gotta be, which I'm not good at this. This is why podcasts and improvising is hard. Because I'm not super adaptable. I want to follow the script that we're not following at all. Yeah, perfection. Perfection is a good one.
Yeah.
Like, why did you get a B? That should have been an A. You should be trying harder. You're smarter than that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You don't spell two like that.
Which way? A lot of ways to spell two.
T-O, not T-W-O.
T-O-O.
T-O-O. Oh?
Context. Depends on the situation. No, but perfectionism is a really good one. That helps increase anxiety. And especially if no matter how hard you try, it is never good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's never good enough.
Like, you loaded the dishwasher, but you didn't load the dishwasher correctly.
You're doing it too loud.
And too loud.
Don't break those dishes.
Yeah. When I load the dishwasher,
not clean enough.
When I unload the dishwasher, sometimes I'm kind of loud, but that's because the dishes. We have the wrong type of dishes. We have loud dishes. It's not my fault.
Loud dishes. It's not mom's fault.
But when the kids are doing the dishes, they're too loud, and that is somehow the kids' fault. Again, context. Context matters.
You know what you could do is not do the dishes.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
You can do the dishes. Or the kids, or someone.
Whose dishes are these anyways?
I don't know. Figuratively, the dishes of the people out there. Don't do your dishes, and that boosts your insecurity, because then if people come over and your dishes aren't done, then you can be stressed about that too. Don't clean your house.
Never good enough.
It's never gonna be
Who
good enough
left this
anyway.
house
People
such a
are
mess?
gonna judge you regardless. Like, well, that's confusing. Because you should definitely be insecure. This is a point on here on a page somewhere that we're not following at all. Criticizing other people behind their backs, obviously. Because if you're criticizing and judging everyone all the time, your kids assume that everybody is criticizing and judging everyone. And then we all increase in insecurity. And your kids will also criticize and judge other people. And it'll just be great. And
So stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll tell you all of Becky's dark secrets.
that's no, it's not like that. It's just like, did you see what that lady was wearing? This also makes your kids insecure about what they're wearing because they're like, oh, I need to make sure I never dress like that so I don't get judged by everyone else in the
So
universe.
it's like making fun of people when they trip and fall.
Totally. Which is what we do when you're driving down the street. You see someone trip and fall. You're like, oh my goodness, how embarrassing. And you laugh at them.
Embarrassing. They should be
Weird.
ashamed of themselves.
I don't know if you should be ashamed of yourself for falling, but definitely you should be embarrassed. No, I was with a friend, and when I was in college, we were driving down the street and saw this guy trip and fall, and yeah, my inner critic did what it does, because if you criticize people enough and bully them, they get their own inner bully, which is brilliant, because then you actually don't have to criticize them, because they criticize themselves. You work yourself out of a job. It's brilliant. So yeah, so my inner critic already knew how to respond and make fun of this person. My friend spoke faster and was like, oh my goodness, did you see that? Like, yeah, I saw that. Like, do you think he's okay? Should we stop? Do you think he's hurt? And I'm like, I am so confused right now. I mean, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to act insecure. But yeah, it was the most confusing thing ever. It was probably actually a life-altering moment that I still remember 15 years later, that I'm like, wow, that was so weird. Like, why would you be compassionate towards someone?
Yeah,
It just does not make sense.
Don't be compassionate when raising insecure kids.
Definitely criticize.
Criticize.
If they get hurt, well,
Everybody
that was a
for
stupid thing you were doing.
Shouldn't have gone to the store.
Should not have gone to the store?
I
I don't know, but
I'm not
no,
very
it's
good
like,
at the critical.
well, you have lots of room for improvement, don't you? Let me teach you. And you'll never be good enough no matter how hard you try. But you might get a B.
I might get a B.
Maybe.
I'll take it.
No. You should be insecure about that B. It needs to be an A. You need to try harder. We've been married for like 12 years. Like,
I should have A's by now.
you should be much better at
Is this why our
insecurity.
kids are so confident?
It's definitely your fault. I've been working I don't even have to try. Insecurity comes actually really natural to me. I don't have to try to do this. It just happens.
I don't know how you do it. Trying.
Years of practice.
trying.
Years of practice. You need to try harder. Or try less hard. Maybe just surrender to insecurity. Stop trying to be confident. What were we talking about?
Making fun of the people tripping and falling as you watch them.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Making sure your kids
Oh, yeah.
see you make fun
Yes.
of people doing stupid things.
Yeah. But if your kids get hurt, you should not be like concerned that they might have hurt themselves as much as like that was a stupid thing you were doing. What were you
definitely
thinking?
won't
You should
criticize
not have
that.
been doing that. How embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Any other phrases we should add to
What
that?
were you thinking?
What were you thinking? That's a good
What
one.
were you?
Yeah. The cool thing too about criticizing other people is that your kids like kind of mirror. They tend to pick up on the things that we do, and so then they start criticizing other people, which is great. And then you can have some
Get in
some
on the
fun
fun together.
banter. Yeah, totally. It's awesome. The problem is it actually does increase your own insecurity because kids don't necessarily have the social awareness to know the proper time to criticize and not to criticize. And you should definitely not teach them that because we don't want confidence. We don't want confident critical people. We need insecure criticizing going on.
That can't be constructive.
I might actually be a professional at being insecure. I might be too confident in my insecurity. Interesting problem.
Your head's getting too big. Try
I mean,
before the fall.
literally doing a podcast talking about insecurity. That's how confident I am in my insecurity.
Yeah.
We might have to work on this. Okay, but where was I going? Your kids will criticize other people, and they might literally go up to them and be like, that shirt is ugly. My mom said so. Because they don't have the social awareness to know that you should not do that. So how would you as a parent feel if your kid said something super rude to somebody else? Like, how embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. And your insecurity. Major insecurity increase through the roof. Yeah, that is definitely. That's how you do it, right? But yeah.
Cherry on top.
Yep. And then obviously blaming your kid, then you're like, I don't know why my kid is so rude. It must be they learned all these terrible things from their friends at school, or it must be their father's fault.
Yep.
Obviously, it's not me.
Right. Rule 2, blame.
Was that rule 2? Did we
I
just
don't
go back to rule 2? Aren't we on like 6 or 7 by now?
Yeah, you know, it's very circular.
Rule 7. Blame.
You can use these to leverage other things. You just
Put the rules in whatever order you want. There
whatever
are no
you
rules.
want. Dynamically use your
Yeah.
insecurity
Yep.
building blocks.
Yeah, and so some other ways you definitely want to help your kids feel insecure at home because you're constantly criticizing them, which actually makes them not really want to be at home and they don't really feel comfortable and safe or welcome or wanted. And some other things that you can add to that, we'll call this rule number like 9 or so, if that's where we're at, is just like how you greet your kid. And I've heard that like normal people say like, good morning, did you sleep well and stuff like that. That is so like, who cares? Who cares if you sleep well?
It's about time you wake up, Becky.
It's about time you wake up. Exactly.
What are you doing up so early?
Exactly. Either way. They overslept. About time you wake up. They got up on
You're
time.
eating way too much for breakfast.
I don't know why that matters.
How come you didn't finish food?
That makes sense. But no, I'm so confused right now. It's about time you got up. Yeah, exactly. They can't win either way. It doesn't matter whether they got up early, got up late. They get criticized either way, which is highly motivational to not get out of bed. Or like sneak out of bed and sneak out of the house and be like, I've been up for a long time. I don't know what you're talking about. Or, you know, if they're out with their friends. Oh, were you out with those friends again? Oh, man. But it's about time you got home. That's going to make them want to come home totally. If you criticize their friends, criticize what they're doing, criticize them for coming home early or late on time. They can't win no matter what they do. So why try?
Yeah. Don't let them win.
Is the goal for our kids to live in our basement for forever? Because they're insecure and not confident in their ability to make decisions, because this strategy that rule 8 or whatever rule we're on might cause them to move out earlier if they don't feel welcome or wanted
as long
at
as
home.
it doesn't reflect on me.
So if they stay living in the basement, it's because we're such amazing parents, our kids want to live here for forever. And if they move out super young, it's because we've raised such mature children that they're totally confident and capable of living on their own.
They're totally capable of living on their own. Look at what good of a job I did. They're out on their own.
That would imply that they're competent. I thought they're supposed to be insecure.
Well,
I'm confused.
You know, we know deep down inside they're insecure.
Okay.
And they're just faking it. So
what if they are confident?
You're so prideful. My prideful kids paying their own bills. Well, they're going to need your money. We're going to have to pay their rent.
What if they get a job or something? Then we failed.
Well, no. If they get a job, then they'll be at the behest of their boss. So
right, and people pleasing and perfectionism.
We know, hey, you're going to do okay in the marketplace. We want them to make it because we know they're controllable when they get a job. And we know every boss out there is looking for little minions to do their work and nothing more.
Yeah.
We don't need people going above and beyond.
You don't need a promotion.
Insecure.
So, yeah, I mean, we've got good little minions. And one way to keep our good little minions in order is comparing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Against, So, how can we set them up against each other?
We don't want them to be friends.
We don't want them to be friends.
You definitely want to create like a tense environment at home.
Yeah, and probably with their friends.
And with their friends. Definitely competition.
Yeah, definitely make it.
Yeah. I mean, so you can set them up for that and just like, why can't you get better grades like your sister?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Why can't you do your chores like your sister?
Why
your sister brushes her teeth without complaining.
You'll be just like your father.
You're going to try to be just like your father when you grow up.
You'll be just like your mom.
That's
You're going to
great.
be just like
That's
Becky.
wonderful. That's what we want. That's the goal, honey.
Oh, I see how it is. Pride cometh before the fall.
Whatever. How embarrassing.
But we don't want them just to compare each other. We want them to compare against everybody else.
And you'll never, I mean, there's always somebody who's better at something than you are. So that definitely
You're never going to catch up to little Johnny.
Yeah, little Johnny runs faster than you.
Have you seen how good your cousins are
Yeah.
at treating their parents?
Yeah, and the interesting thing with comparison too, if you're like, your brother gets better grades than you, it makes the kid who's not getting good grades not like the kid who is getting good grades. And then the kid who is getting good grades is like kind of embarrassed to get good grades because it's making their sibling not like them, and they're aware that it's creating this tension.
Right.
So they actually don't want to get good grades because in some ways you're almost like getting a reverse criticism for getting grades. Because you don't want to compliment them for getting good grades. You do actually kind of want to make it a negative
you want them
thing.
to feel like they have to be perfect, but if they're perfect, then they make themselves look bad because everybody looks at them, right? And it's that.
Yeah, and you don't want to like, you know, if you're perfect all the time and then you mess up, that's not good either. So, I mean, you want your kids to want to be perfect, but yet feel insecure about being perfect, because if you have a really high standard and you just like mess up a little tiny bit, then like people are going to judge you.
Using around you, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
That's the goal. Is it working?
I'm never gonna be good.
Oh, projection. Projection's a good one too.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, did we talk about that
That's
already?
the one we always forget.
It's the one you always forget, and you're trying to project that I forget.
No, it was definitely you forgot it.
No, I remembered it.
Uh,
Point number
It was my idea.
10 or so.
Make sure they never feel their own emotions. It's the emotion that you're feeling.
You are so angry today, aren't you? Why are you so upset? Are you confused? Do you feel upset?
I don't know what.
Are you second guessing
I'm second guessing when
your own feelings?
Did I yell today?
Yeah, you totally just sounded really upset right there. You did. And I'm offended by your behavior. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm so embarrassed.
And you're probably
I
confused.
never should have yelled at you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no apologizing.
No
apologizing. Too late to apologize.
It's too late.
No, you don't want to apologize because you are perfect.
No, you just have to apologize the right way. I'm sorry you're so sensitive about my anger, honey. I'm not angry.
I'm sorry you're so
sensitive about the way I'm talking.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry you're so insecure. Obviously, it's your father's fault. Wow.
So sorry I'll never be good enough for you.
Yeah, that's a good
Maybe
one.
you should go reflect on that.
No reflection. What are you talking about? Yeah, so there's some good apologies. That's good apologies. But for the most part, don't apologize. It's more like,
You didn't do anything.
I don't see what I could have possibly done wrong. I'm basically perfect. And then maybe even throw out something that you obviously did not do wrong. Like, well, maybe I did not give you enough chores. Maybe I failed. And of course your kids are gonna be like, no, Mom, you gave me plenty of chores. Don't worry. And you're like, oh, good. I was so concerned for a minute there that I was a terrible failure as a parent, but it turns out that I am indeed perfect. Thank you for confirming that I am perfect.
Do anything you
I
can
haven't
to
done anything
affirm
wrong.
your perfection and their imperfection.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about you and your insecurity, right?
But in your insecurity, you definitely want to wear the mask and act perfect. I actually, as a child, thought that everyone else was perfect.
That's the
And
illusion. That's
yeah.
what we're trying to create.
Man,
We're teaching you the ways to come across as perfect.
yeah, I tried so hard, and I already had my own inner critic that was telling me that I was failing at being perfect because I wasn't perfect, but I thought everyone else was perfect. And no matter how hard I try, I couldn't even trick myself into believing I was perfect. I didn't know I was supposed to fake being perfect. I thought I was actually supposed to be perfect. I missed the memo. And that is the goal. You want your kids to fake being perfect.
Yes.
Because they know it's impossible to actually be perfect, but you want them to try really hard.
Most
But no matter how hard they try, it's still never good enough.
never good enough.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. So I think, comparison, we did not talk about, like, what do the neighbors think? Did we mention that?
Probably multiple times, but I want to
Okay.
make sure that
We
Our
should
neighbor.
definitely care about what everyone else thinks all the time
Yeah.
because everyone is judging you all the time. Yeah, we did talk about judgment. I don't know if we talked about that specifically, though. Like, I mean, you're just out in the yard minding your own business, but you should know that all the neighbors are watching you and they are judging you. And what do they think right now?
yeah, especially kids, everything your kids do, they're judging.
And they're judging
based on
you.
your kids, and you want to make sure your kids know it.
Yeah, they're judging you based on your kids.
I don't think you can go out looking like that.
Yeah, what will the neighbors think?
What the neighbors think.
And
What-
that, obviously, the opinions of random strangers, I mean, neighbors maybe. But, I mean, what will the random people at the grocery store think if you go to the store dressed like that? Like, people that you don't even know are going to judge you, and you don't want people to judge you. You should be so
What do your
insecure.
friends like? What will your friends think of you looking like that?
That might actually be almost relevant, though. But, like, what will the random strangers think? It is
What if
important
they're uncertain
that we
about
should
their friends?
fear what random people we don't even know. Like, what are those thinking? Like, literally, what are the people who watching this podcast thinking about me right now? Are they judging me?
I'm definitely afraid of what you might think.
Yeah, especially because I'm on a podcast with him, which is nerve-wracking enough
Yeah, so
Um,
be sure
to judge us.
to judge us in the comments below and everything you can to make us feel as insecure about this as possible.
Yeah. And then we'll stop podcasting.
Yeah,
Or
never hear from us.
it'll
again.
mean that we were successful. See, it's reverse psychology actually here. Because normally you want people to leave positive comments where they tell you how amazing you are and how life-changing it was and all those things. But if we tell them to leave negative comments and then they leave a negative comment, that means that we actually did a good job.
I got it.
And
They
they're
leave
obeying
all
us.
the negative comments about you. They tell me how great I am.
No,
I'm the best husband ever.
you are my best husband ever. Yep.
I'm taken though.
He is taken. I think you have too much pride, though.
Yeah, well, gotta make sure it's a balance of like, you're too big-headed. Oh, don't be like that.
Yeah.
Right? Did we miss anything?
I think we did a pretty good
Okay.
job.
I'm sure we'll have more tips to help you raise insecure
Yeah,
kids
we'll think of
while building your insecurity. But like I said, leave comments to make sure we're feeling insecure and tell us how bad we are by thumbs up.
Also, make sure that you tell all your friends about this terrible podcast that you listen to, full of terrible advice, and just share it everywhere so everyone knows not to follow us.
Let them know
not to
how
listen to our bad
not
advice.
funny it is.
Yes.
Like, you can't believe what these two
They think they're
people-
funny, but
they
they're
think they're funny.
they're not at all.
Yeah. And be sure to let us know
How
that we
terrible it
can
is.
do worse. That way we show up
More insecure than ever.
more insecure.
This is brilliant. I could actually be really good at this podcast.
Yes.
I
You
like
know-
this plan.
You know what's crazy
I'm again confident in my insecurity.
is
So confused.
I don't know why you wrote the book the way you did.
Yeah, I don't know either, because the kids say like affirmation statements and they're kind of like confident. They're like, I am brave, I am strong, I'm courageous. It's really terrible.
Yeah.
I think it might actually increase kids' confidence and compassion. And we don't want either of that. So don't buy the book either.
Don't buy the book. Wonderfully Different, Wonderfully Me. You kind of
At wonderfullymebooks.com.
Don't
Don't go there.
buy it. It will not help raise insecure kids. They will start.
That's a
saying,
promise we can.
I am brave. I am courageous, and then they'll start believing in themselves.
They might start like
They'll
loving
be
themselves.
independent. It's
as
hard
they
to
are.
control.
Yeah. Goodness.
Don't do that.
That was the worst idea ever. I
can't
wasted
believe
like a
you
whole
did it.
year of my life writing that book. We're going to write more books. Better books.
We're gonna write a book on insecurity. In the
We'll buy it.
meantime, you can watch us be dumb on the internet.
Yeah, and laugh at us and stuff. Hope you enjoyed the show. Or hated it. Whatever.
Hope you feel insecure, just like me. Go and be insecure. Go
Or,
and
you
be
know, I could
likewise.
say, be wonderfully you. That's what I always say. And if wonderfully you is insecure, just own it.
Own it. Just own your insecure self.
Is that a form of confidence, though?
I don't know. We're changing the world one insecure person at a time.